Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1979 Chevy LUV. Up front is a 1.8 liter inline 4, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Chevy LUV for two reasons. First of all, I haven't driven one here on the channel before. I've done a bunch of S10s, I've even done the Isuzu Pup, which share lineage with this vehicle, but the Chevy LUV was very iconic. It was a well-sold pickup truck and had a lot of importance to Chevy, and we'll talk about that later on. The second reason is the fact that this is a very historically significant pickup truck, and we'll talk about those reasons why throughout the video. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 1.8 liter inline 4. Well, that is actually an Isuzu engine. Us Americans didn't really want to touch anything below 4 liters throughout the 1970s. We kind of left that to the imports. The reason this has a 1.8 liter is because this is actually developed by Isuzu. So when Chevy wanted a small pickup truck to compete with the Ford Courier, Datsun 620, and Toyota pickup, they talked to Isuzu and they imported the Isuzu Faster as the Chevy LUV, which is this truck. So this is really an Isuzu, not only under the hood, but in pretty much everything else. The 1.8 liter was the only option we got here in the States, although worldwide they did have a couple other engine offers. If you buy a US one, that's the only thing you're getting. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. Actually feels pretty great, has a really nice throw into gear because, well, it's Japanese. Last but not least, this Chevy LUV is 4-wheel drive, and that is a very big deal because not only was the Chevy LUV the first small pickup to have 4-wheel drive ever, but 1979 was the first year that they offered it. So this is not only the first mini pickup to have 4-wheel drive, the first year of 4-wheel drive. So that is why this truck specifically is very culturally important. So it does have 4-wheel drive. Absolutely love that. How does it feel to drive the Chevy LUV? Well, it drives a lot like its Toyota and Datsun counterparts. The ride is really harsh, but it's lovely to shift, and you can get some acceleration out of it, but not a whole ton. I have no tachometer, so I don't really know. All right, and in doing that, it just shut off on me. And I seem to have lost all power. So that's cool. All right. Well, here we go, I guess. Aha, there's our culprit. Big money, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Ha ha ha! Oh. Okay. We're back, baby! We're back in the LUV. You can't keep a truck like this down. The fuel pump went out, so the owner swapped out the fuel pump, and we're back in business. Oh, yeah! It's been a day, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a day. So with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 gauges. Off to the left is my coolant temperature. In the center is the speedometer, and off to the right is my fuel with some warning lights. I do get a little Chevy badge on the steering wheel. Kind of an afterthought here, but cool to see. And down below the gauges, we have our headlight switch, a blower motor switch that's aftermarket, and then our wipers and ignition off to the right. On the door card, we just have the latch to get in and out and the crank for the window. And moving into the center, we have a spot where a radio would go, but unfortunately, it has been lost along the way. Down below, we do have heat and AC options. So this was a pretty well-equipped truck for 1979 with its four-wheel drive and air conditioning. Then we have the shifter in the center, pretty standard shifter, nothing really to note there. And we have our four-wheel drive shifter off to the right. Like I mentioned, this was the very first year of four-wheel drive. Very, very cool to see that. We don't have any cup holders, so it fails the big friggin' bottle test to be expected. And then we have a bench seat. Now this does have a cover on it, but you can see the original bench seat poking through. The seats are comfortable, although the cab itself isn't very big. If you're over 6 foot, you might struggle to sit in here. This is still a mini truck. It is a small truck, and so kind of to be expected. Now we don't have any back seats, but we do have the bed, so let's hop back there and go do a bed review. All right, around the back of the Chevy LUV. Absolutely love to see this. It is so incredibly basic. So one other thing about these trucks is that they were built overseas. They were built in Asia. However, there was something called the chicken tax during this time, which meant that all light trucks like this imported to the United States had a 25% tariff. Now, to avoid that, they would ship the cabs and engines all assembled here to the US, and then they would bolt on the beds later on. So that's how they were able to get around it. Once we are back here, we do have these clips. Pull it like that. Pull it like that. This is a very 60s style of tailgate. See these big chunky arms that open up to the back. No tie downs specifically in the inside. You have the tie downs on the outside. Throughout the 1970s, we still saw the tie downs on the outside. Towards the 80s, they started moving them into the bed, or more on top of the rails and then more into the bed. So that's definitely a very like 70s giveaway, is seeing the bed tie downs on the outside. There it is, very simple work truck. Pull it back up. There you go, it hooks onto that, pulls itself in. This one hooks on there. There you go. There we go. There it is. That is the back of the Chevy LUV. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And first of all, this isn't the original color. This truck was originally red. Someone along its life has painted it white and added the stripes. Now, I personally think the stripes are absolutely awesome. They're very period correct 70s, and I feel like I should be wearing some bell bottoms while looking at it. And I just got a thumbs up from a bus driver. But I like how petite the LUV is. I like how it's styled. It does have a very imported look, which makes sense. I like its doughy little eyeballs up front. And overall, it's such an honest, goody two-shoes little truck. And LUV stands for Light Utility Vehicle. However, what ended up happening is it just made it sound absolutely adorable. You had the Isuzu Pup and the Chevy LUV. That sounds like two Beanie Babies. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the 1979 Chevy LUV? Well, first of all, it's been a really cool experience. It's been a great experience besides that whole, fuel pump mishap, blah, blah, blah. Well, cut that out. I want to talk about the LUV in general, and that sounds more philosophical than it is. Because not only was this truck the first mini truck to have four-wheel drive, and this being the first year for that. I've already said that a million times. It's probably beaten to your head at this point. The other thing that came with this truck is our modern truck outlook. Here's what I mean. Chevy imported the Isuzu Faster, this truck, as the Chevy LUV, and it sold really well. It sold so well that Chevy decided to actually put their own money and own research into building their own homegrown platform, which ended up being the Chevy S10. The Chevy S10 sold so well, and the platform was so good that they ended up building another car off that platform, the Chevy Blazer, and that sold really well. If this didn't work out, we might have a completely different Chevy today. But because this truck was good, because it worked, and because it's an honest little pickup truck, it gained a following. a following that Chevy could monetize. But not only monetize, but also stick more money back into. They could justify researching and developing their own without having to rebadge the Isuzu. That's why this truck is so important. Yes, it looks cool. Yes, it's an awesome little toy from the 70s, but it helped shape our modern pickup trucks. It helped shape pickup trucks back in the era. This gave Chevy a fighting chance against Datsun, Mazda, Toyota, and Ford. And honestly, it's great. It's a great little pickup truck. Much like LUV itself, you're going to experience hiccups. You're going to experience issues. Things are going to arise. I could have left this truck on the side of the road and walked home. I could have given up on the LUV, but all it needed was a little bit of elbow grease and a $20 Amazon fuel pump, and the LUV continued. The LUV was shared. Now, if you're married to someone, I wouldn't recommend trying to fix your problems with a $20 Amazon fuel pump, but I think the rest of the advice fits well. Put the time in and put the effort in, you'll get what you put in out of it. Relationships are a two-way street, and the Chevy LUV is a two-way street. Give it the time of day, give it the love and respect it deserves, and it'll treat you right. You gotta love love. If you don't love love, I don't think you know what love is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Matt and Al for letting me borrow their Chevy LUV for today's video. No matter how turbulent this review might have been, they are absolutely wonderful. They have their own YouTube channel, Wisco Shenanigans, so please go check them out for more content. They are simply the best. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. But I'm so proud of this little truck. You're still here, you're still fighting, baby! Woohoo! Take care, guys.